Welcome to the Epcotian Adventure,
a podcast where we talk about all things Disney, but we're Epcot-centered.
including tips and tricks, festivals and favorites, and the very latest in our rankings and reviews.
But we're still old enough to remember when Oogie Boogie didn't know us well enough to invite us to his party.
This is episode 128, our review of the Disney California Adventure Oogie Boogie Bash.
Or, Mickey's Not So Scary may have some competition.
So now please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast as we embark on our Epcotian adventure.
We call it Epcot.
Howdy folks, and welcome to the Epcotian Adventure. I'm Rod.
And I'm Sue.
And this is episode 128. Man, we're still getting up there in numbers. I love it.
It's like every week we get a number higher. Isn't that weird?
I know, it's weird. It's like we're just growing or something. Getting older and stuff. Well, folks, this is our review of the Disney California Adventure Oogie Boogie Bash. Really, it's the West Coast version of Mickey's Not So Scary.
It is and it isn't. It is a different party. I really expected it to be more like Mickey's Not So Scary, and it actually is its own thing. I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, it's a different parade. It still has the Headless Horseman. I love that, though.
Yes.
But a whole different feel, including Villain's Grove, which we'll talk about today, and
in a couple of
weeks.
So stay tuned for that. So what is Oogie Boogie Bash? Let's just start there. It is not. It's fun.
But Oogie Boogie.
Oogie Boogie's gross.
He's full of bugs.
He's scary. I do not enjoy Oogie Boogie.
No, I just meant the prices at California Adventure. That's the scary part. Yeah.
So Oogie Boogie Bash is their Halloween party that they do on the West Coast. So this is for Disneyland at Disney California Adventure. This particular party takes place at Disney California Adventure. This year the dates are August 17th through October 31st. So basically, it's not every night. You want to check a calendar, but it is pretty much Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday are the days of the week that you're looking at.
And yes, we realize it's already mid-October, so if you're going to go, better look quickly.
Yes.
But they do tend to sell out.
They absolutely sell out. The rest of the dates for this year are currently sold out. If it is something that you are planning to do in the last couple weeks remaining, just make sure that you keep on checking back because cancellations do happen.
Yeah, you can use a service like Mouse Watcher.
Yeah, they actually do special events like this, so that's a great tip. That's a really good way to do this. Prices are $139 to $189. Those prices run the gamut of the whole time, so prices will vary depending on when you're looking. It does get more expensive the closer you get to Halloween. Also keep in mind that price does not include your parking. Parking is $35 currently, so make sure that you are factoring that in to your price as well.
Now, the nice thing about the party is it starts at 6 p.m. and goes to 11 p.m., but you can enter as early as 3 p.m., much like Mickey's Not So Scary at Magic Kingdom.
Now, if you are a Magic Key holder or you have an admission ticket for the day for DCA, you are welcome to just stay in the park. So make sure that you are going to get your wristband at the appropriate time. There's places within the park. You don't have to get it by exiting and re-entering.
Just so you know, they have special maps just for the party. So starting around 3 o'clock, you can go back out to the main entrance or check with the guest services locations in the park, like the one at the bridge by Pixar Pier.
There you go.
Or guest relations. And you can pick up a special map that'll show you all of the features for the party, including the trails where you get the candy.
The map is going to actually be key. Even if you're familiar with the park, it's going to show you where to find those special things. So make sure that you're getting that. Don't think, oh, I know this park. I don't need that. You need it.
So as Sue said, you can pick up your wristbands and bags inside the park. You don't have to go back out to the front entrance. When we were there, it was in the old Bugs Life queue, just past Carthay Circle on the left-hand side if you're walking towards Paradise Pier or Route 66 or Cars Land.
Now, this is where they're going to check everybody's ticket in your party. Make sure that you have them all available, you have them out, and you're waiting to check them in. They will scan those, they will hand you a map, they will hand you your trick-or-treat bag, and they will put your wristband on. So keep those wristbands on. If they are off, they are no longer valid. So I know that kids can get annoyed with these things. Just have a plan in mind to make sure that you know that they do have to stay on.
Yeah, right at 6 o'clock, you'll see lines of security and cast members checking for wristbands. And they just keep moving and moving and moving towards the main entrance to push all the day guests out. Also, if you are a day guest and you're not planning to go to the party, note that you'll be able to shop at 5 and Dime, and that's about it until maybe around 6:30, and then you have to leave the park. Don't think you're going to stay in and sneak in. It's not going to happen. And day of tickets are almost impossible to get.
This is an event that sells out every year. On that note, too, if you are planning on buying tickets, either for this year or for next year or for whenever, as soon as they go on sale, we literally had our alarm set to get the date that we wanted. So if this is something that's important to you, make your decisions early, have your date in mind, and be really, really on it for when those tickets first go on sale, because this event does sell out.
So mid-August, do you want to dress up in a costume in California heat and go to a party in the evening? Yeah, you do. Just remember, this is a Halloween party. You are allowed to wear costumes to a point. This is more, I'm going to say, Disney bounding than actual costumes. We saw a lot of people with like onesies and with the Disney bounding, things like that. Just note that costumes are allowed, not required, but Sue and I kind of did some Disney bounding.
We did a little bounding.
I had Doug ears and a Doug shirt from Up.
And I had a Minnie Mouse skirt and Minnie Mouse ears with just a black top and a yellow bracelet. Like it was a nod to the characters and not a full-on costume. There are lots of rules. If you want to go full-on costume, there are some rules. So let's just run through those real quick so that you don't get disappointed and turned away at the gate, because they will do that.
Yeah, nothing too scary or grotesque. This is not Halloween Horror Nights or Fright Fest or Scary Farm. You need to know that this is a Disney family-friendly event, so nothing bloody or gory, nothing too real. You can't dress exactly like a princess and start doing autographs and, hey, look at me, I'm really here working, and you're not. So that's not allowed.
No weapons or anything closely resembling a weapon. No spiky bits, so nothing that could accidentally cause an injury to a guest just by turning around or by getting too close.
Yeah, you can't have anything on your costume that's going to touch the ground or drag on the ground, basically. So, no capes.
No capes!
Masks for adults cannot cover the face, the full face. If you're 13 or younger, then you can have a mask, but adults, no. Not allowed.
And even for those 13 and younger, there are some stipulations, so make sure you're looking at those. And you can have a cape, but it cannot go past your waist.
Good point.
So,
Good point.
Sorry, Edna. That is a caveat. You can do a short cape.
And what is the cape for? Are we going to the opera? I don't think so.
Yeah, again, it's August, it's September, it's still going to be hot. Just note that if you're coming from out of state for this, California heat is different than Florida heat because it's less humid, and in the evenings you tend to get that nice ocean breeze, but still plan on mid-70s all the way through the end of the party. So just think about that if you're thinking of doing like a Chewbacca onesie or something. You're going to roast. So
yes.
Take that into consideration.
And it was oddly humid the weekend we were there. I'm not sure what was going on. Like we brought Florida heat with us. I don't know. But just keep in mind those temperatures do vary. So plan your costume accordingly.
So what are the priorities for this? Well, it depends on when you're going. If you start at 3 p.m., the rides are still going to be packed. Radiator Springs Racers, Incredicoaster, right now, Mike and Sully, but that's going away shortly. The bigger rides are going to have long lines until just after 6. So I think really, when you first get there, maybe do some of the filler attractions. Do the Art of Animation building, which will be turned into a queue, basically, for one of the meet and greets that we'll talk about in a moment. Also, look at dinner. You can get dinner at Carthay Circle or at the lounge, which like we did, which was really good.
The food was excellent. We don't have this on our schedule to talk about like as a review for Carthay Circle, so maybe we just mention it real quick. But the food was excellent. The service was not. So just keep that in mind, that have some time available to go. And that might have just been the day that we were there. Maybe they were short somebody. I don't know. But the food was really, really good. The drinks were really, really good. I would recommend going. Just don't go if you're in a hurry.
Yeah, very good point. Because any of the sit-down restaurants, anywhere at Disney are going to be slow. That's just the nature of the beast when you're doing a sit-down restaurant. But it's a nice way to get an early dinner before you dive into all the candy.
I would recommend having separate priorities for that 3 to 6 period and the 6 to 11 period. So during that 3 to 6, I would recommend, like Rod said, go get dinner somewhere. Have some time to shop or relax or people watch, things that you enjoy doing that aren't party related. This can also include the rides, but do know that the rides are open during the party and they get shorter lines during the party because focus shifts from the rides to the characters to the candy, and you don't want to be mixing your priorities. So if rides are your priorities, you might focus on hitting some of those bigger ones during the later times after you've done all the trail treats or that sort of thing.
Yeah, a big part of that is the parade that we'll mention here in a minute again is twice a night. So see the second parade and ride the rides during the first parade.
Yes.
Because all the kids are going to see that and then leave.
Love that.
And it's open till 11, so
yeah.
I love that.
And like we said, they are going to have shorter lines. Some exceptions to that are going to be because there is an overlay on Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. It becomes Monsters After Dark. And Luigi's and Mater's both get Halloween overlays as well. Those are not party exclusive, but because they are unique, they tend to keep a little bit longer lines. Right now, an exception to that is also Monsters, Inc. Because Monsters, Inc. is closing to make room for Avatar. That one does keep a longer line, so keep an eye on your app on wait times. The wait times do get reflected during party hours as well, which is very, very useful. We found that that was not the case at Disney World.
Yeah, good point.
So, unless they've fixed that since then, but keep an eye on that app.
So you mentioned Guardians Monsters After Dark.
Yes.
Let me just throw that in really quick.
Please do.
This is for the days that they have the party. They start this at about 3 p.m. and it'll run through the party. So day guests are there doing it from 3 to 6. So from about 3 to about 6:30 or 7, the line stays long. It's a much more aggressive ride. So the drops are more plentiful, and they felt faster for some reason. I'm not sure what was going on, but it was crazy on the up and down movement for the drops. And there's monsters at every stop. So just note, there are a few jump scares and things that you're not expecting. Therefore, for smaller kids, it's a little more terrifying. For older kids like us, it's fantastic.
And it does still feature the Guardians plot and characters, correct?
It does, except for in the pre-show, spoiler alert, Rocket decides that he needs our help getting back Baby Groot. And at first he's like, you should leave because wait, you could help me. And he uses you as bait.
You guys can be a big help while I look for my pal. A gantry lift full of warm Terrans makes a really great distraction. I just need you to wave your arms, scream, whatever it takes, and then all these things will, never mind. You in? It doesn't matter. That was rhetorical.
So,
Actually, that's really on brand for Rocket.
It is.
I love that. So yeah, I do love a good holiday overlay. So that is so much fun. I love it. Let's talk about the treat trails.
Yeah, this is one of the best parts of this. Now, this is also something they do during Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party at Magic Kingdom. However, here at California Adventure, they do it with villains. And this is spectacular. The villains are live face characters. And we saw Hades, and we saw Dr. Doofenshmirtz, which was fantastic. Since I look like Doug, I said he had hit me with the Dogginator, and he looks at me and goes, "That's not my Inator."
We also saw Judge Doom,
he was frightening.
Fantastic. He is so good. We saw Maleficent.
Oh my gosh, I got to stop. And Maleficent was, I swear she sounded like Eleanor Oddly. She sounded like Maleficent. It was fantastic.
She sounded oddly like Madame Leota. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, weird. Huh.
We also saw Ernesto de la Cruz. Ones that we did not see but are available. Agatha Harkness, Yokai from Big Hero 6. Syndrome was there this year. They do have rotating characters, and he was the one who was in this year. And then Oogie Boogie, of course.
Well, it's his bash.
It is his bash, so it is polite to go see him. He terrifies me, so we did not go see him. But the treat trails are set up differently than at Disney World. You're going to go through a big, long queue, and there's going to be like 4 or 5 different spots within that single queue where they're going to load you up with candy. And then at the end of that, you're going to have the character. Most of them, you can see the character all the way through the queue. So you can hear their funny banter and you can see them interacting with folks. And then you'll get your chance to interact with them when you get closer to the front. It is so much fun. It's not just about how many Skittles can I get. Like, it really is such a fun experience to go through these. The bags that they give you for trick-or-treating are on the smaller side. They were fine for us. Candy was not the goal. But if you're going and this is your goal is to get as much candy as you can because you're a local or because you're planning to donate it or...
so you can hand it out on Halloween.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean if you're a local. You probably don't want to take that bag on an airplane with you.
It's true, we did.
We did take some back, it's true. But this is a really fun way to get that. But you can bring your own bags. Was the purpose of that.
Yeah.
That big long speech. You can bring your own bag or you can buy a bigger bag while you're there as well.
There's also 3 trails that don't have characters that you can just walk through and get candy. In Radiator Springs, Buena Vista Street, and Paradise Gardens, they will just hand you candy as you go through. Good thing to note is that they do have allergy-friendly bags that you can get. It's a different bag, and just ask a check-in, and they'll give you an allergy bag that they drop tokens in instead when you get to those stations, and then you can trade those tokens in at the main entrance as you're going out for allergy-friendly food. I won't call it candy.
Some of it is candy. They'll have a selection laid out for you, and you can choose things that suit your allergy. So if you are allergic to dairy, you can pick things that are not chocolate, that don't have that. If you're allergic to nuts, you can pick things that don't have... Like, you can suit it to your own allergy, and they'll have things that you can select there.
Some of the counter service locations, like Smoke Jumpers and Award Wieners, will be open. So that's what we were saying before. If you want dinner at a sit-down, you'll probably want to do Carthay Circle or Lounge before 6 o'clock. We did notice that Aunt Cass's was open over in San Francisco, so you could still get the bread bowl with the soup or the... Oh, what was it you had?
I had the chicken pot pie soup in a bread bowl.
Good.
It was so good. I've actually tried to replicate it once since we got home. I didn't quite nail it, but I'm working on it. It was really, really good. We did also want to recommend that you don't use the party time, those 5 hours for a sit-down meal. You probably don't want to use time that you've paid to be there specifically for the party to do something that you could do outside the party. Also note that some of these counter service venues, like Rod was saying, are going to be open, and some of them do have party-exclusive treats. Those will also be listed in that map that they give you, in the brochure that they give you for the party. So if that's of interest to you, make sure that you are taking time to go get those. And
look at Hollywood Lounge, because they will have party-exclusive adult beverages.
You know what? Oh, yes. You know what I should mention as well? We were talking about the characters that we saw and that are available. Those do change on occasion. I mentioned that Syndrome was here this year. In the past, it's been Sid from Toy Story. They've had Marvelous Mad Madam Mim. So those do change. If there's one that you are specifically dying to see, those usually get announced late summer. So keep an eye on the blog sites and the Disney site and see if your favorite is going to be there.
In an episode just recently, we talked about the parade and the dessert party that can go along with that. Note that if you have a ticket for Oogie Boogie Bash, you can also get a $94 dessert party upgrade. That gives you VIP seating and some dessert for the parade, which is the Frightfully Fun Parade. They don't do Boo to You. I was actually a little shocked by that when I first found out, because Boo to You is such an amazing parade.
It may be my favorite parade.
Frightfully Fun was good, but I'm with you, sis. I think Boo to You is a better parade.
Agreed.
But let's talk about it.
It was indeed frightfully fun. I had a good time.
Well, I love that it started with Headless Horseman again, but this one also started with Ichabod and some friends ahead of the Headless Horseman. I thought that was a nice little touch.
That was really cool. I liked that.
Thing that killed me, though, is he came out, and I thought the parade's going to be right behind him. No, there was a 15-minute break between Headless Horseman and when the parade started. So note that if you have smaller kids, since the parade runs from Paradise Pier, and that's not Paradise Pier anymore, still, I work there, so Paradise Pier is still stuck in my head. Pixar Pier, it starts down at the end by the restaurants and goes all the way through the parade route over to Guardians through the Hollywood section. So if you have small ones, you may want to watch the parade from the far end where it starts rather than where we did in Hollywood. we sat there and waited, and then the parade finally came by. It's not a bad thing. It's how all the parades run at Disney. But just note that it starts over at the back of the park by Paradise Pier. I'm going to continue to call it that for the rest of my life.
Paradise Gardens is what they call it. So that works.
Yeah. Goofy Sky School. If
There
you
you
want
go.
a location where it starts. That's about where it starts and goes to Guardians.
We had a great spot. I do want to mention this too because we ended up having to ask a cast member if we could sit where we sat because nobody was sitting there and it seemed weird because it was a really great spot. So on Hollywood Boulevard, you have some like faux doorways on the buildings and some of those include stoops. So these little step units, and we sat on the steps and no one was there and they were totally open. Great view above the crowd because you're above the sidewalk. It was fantastic.
Yeah, right across from animation.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic location that didn't fill up until even the very end.
Now, there were some people next to us who decided to go under the railing and sit in the planter between the two stoops. That was not allowed. They did make them move. But the stoops are totally fine. So sit on the steps, get yourself a great view. We ran over to one of the ODV, the outdoor vending carts, and grabbed, what was it, like a pizza pocket?
Yeah, it was a pizza pocket just from one of the walk-ups.
It was really good. It was so much better than I thought it was going to be, just because it didn't sound like anything extraordinary. But it was really good, and it was the perfect little pre-parade snack.
So the parade is at 7:45 p.m. and 10 p.m. The parade itself had Jack and Sally, Dr. Facilier, Ursula, my favorite, the Gravediggers, with the ballroom dancers right behind them.
From Haunted Mansion.
From
I should
Mansion,
say, yes.
yeah.
It also had Mother Gothel, Cruella de Vil, Captain Hook, Mickey and Minnie, and my personal favorite was the mayor of Halloween Town. He was driving his little car and his head turns around so you get both faces. Super cool. I thought it was interesting. The Gravediggers in Florida get a huge response from the audience, from all the guests. Love the ballroom dancers. They love the Gravediggers. In California, it was the same. Like, it was very similar choreography, very similar music. They did not know that they were the star of the show. And I think that was the difference. In Florida, the Gravediggers know they're a big deal. And in California, it was just like, we're part of the parade, we've got shovels, and then they make sparks. It was just an interesting dichotomy because we're used to people going nuts for the Gravediggers, and they didn't. It was really interesting. Still amazing. I loved this parade, but again, Boo to You wins every time.
There are meet and greets spread around the park. You can meet Meg with Pain and Panic, Mickey, Daisy,
Meg
Clarabelle.
actually trades out with Pain and
Oh,
Panic,
is that
so
what
you're
it
not
is?
going to meet all three. You're going to meet Pain and Panic, or you're going to meet Meg.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
And then the Sanderson sisters are Minnie, Daisy, and Clarabelle.
Love that.
I love that. Photo Pass is included, by the way, with this. So if you're going in, make sure if you have your Magic Band or you have your ticket. If you don't, you can ask the cast member and they'll give you a Photo Pass card. And you can use those to track your Photo Pass during the party.
That's a huge deal. We're going to say that again. PhotoPass is included with your price of ticket. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's different than Florida.
And because of that, these lines for the meet and greets get really long.
True.
So-
I did see Prince Hans,
Yes.
or of the Seven Isles. I didn't know who he was at first until I heard him talking, and it was like, oh, that's Prince Hans. Okay.
He was good. I love that they have him there. They also had Queen of Hearts. They have Captain Hook and Smee. They have Lotso. Mater and Lightning McQueen both have Halloween costumes on.
That's really cool.
It's so cute. And then we also saw Joy and Anger. I think Sadness rotates with them as well. I've heard that there's a Cheshire Cat meet and greet, but I did not see him. So just know that there's a lot of characters to meet. And this tends to be a huge focus for people. So those lines can get very long. If you have a favorite, make sure that you're making that character your priority.
Notice at Julia's Cats and at Five and Dime, they do have merch specific for the event.
This was funny because I was so, I love getting exclusive merchandise. I love limited edition anything. And I was like, I'm going to get some Oogie Boogie merchandise and I'm going to be so happy. everything had Oogie Boogie on it. And for some reason, this was a shock to me. So
Well, it is called Oogie Boogie Bash.
it absolutely is. It's right there in the title. But I do not like him. He creeps me out. He's full of bugs.
It was surprising how little variation they had in the merch.
Yeah, it was a t-shirt, a Spirit jersey, a pin. I think there was a hat.
I think there was a Loungefly.
Maybe? Probably.
Or maybe that was just a Halloween one. I
I
remember
think
seeing
there were Halloween ones.
on the same display. I remember seeing a Loungefly. I don't know if it was specific now that I think about it.
But like you said, very, very limited merch. So if you have something, make sure that you are making time to go get that. Because that is only available during the party.
The highlight of the evening, however, if you're
This is why you go.
You have to go. The Redwood Challenge Trail is turned into what they call Villain's Grove. Now, here just to toot our own horn a little bit, coming up for our Halloween episode this year, we're going to have a choose your own adventure through Villain's Grove.
I'm so excited.
Make sure to hear us on the Monday just before Halloween.
I'm super excited.
But Villain's Grove, you have to wait until after dark.
It does open right before dusk.
Yeah, but don't do it.
But don't do it then.
Yeah, you have to wait till it's dark outside. Villain's Grove is a complete takeover of the Challenge Trail. It's small areas that you walk through. So they've taken and made it into one long path. Nothing scary.
This is not Halloween Horror Nights. This is not Universal. This is not Scary Farm.
Yeah, it's just lighting effects and video effects and audio effects. It's going to meet the villains in a very unique way, and I can't recommend it enough.
It was absolutely gorgeous. This is the reason I wanted to do this party specifically, and it met every expectation I had. It was absolutely gorgeous. It's so immersive. Like you said, it's all about the lighting and it's about the sound effects, and you're not going to see any live characters. It's not meet and greets, but you're going to see the characters represented in different ways and sort of an atmosphere that character might create.
It's absolutely stunningly gorgeous. There is no way to even describe this. I do highly recommend that you go on YouTube and look it up and watch the walkthrough.
Yes.
Or better yet, if you've never been and never seen it, don't.
Yeah,
Go through and absorb it as you go through. You can walk through as slow or as fast as you want. There's plenty of room for people to walk around you. There is also a accessible pathway that you can take for a couple portions that include stairs. You're not going to miss anything if you are mobility impaired. Again, Disney, I love you for this. It's amazing. You cannot miss this part. We saw representations for Maleficent and Frollo, I believe, right? From Hunchback. Dr. Facilier.
I loved that one. My favorite one, though, was Queen of Hearts and Cheshire Cat. That was by far my favorite. I mean, Cheshire Cat's my favorite anyway, but it was so good. Scars was also very, very cool.
Oh my gosh, it was right out of the Elephant Graveyard, including the erupting steam pots.
And the part that you see during the song, where you see the shadows of the hyenas marching. Oh, it was so cool. Again, this is just all about atmosphere. I'm going to post some pictures. I have a couple of short videos that I did to just sort of try to grasp what those are, and I'll post some of those. But just know that it doesn't do it justice to be there and be surrounded and immersed in this. It's absolutely chef's kiss.
So, Sue, was it worth it?
This was 100% worth it to me. We did one of the cheaper nights. So ours was the 139, which was the beginning of August, one of the first parties.
Yeah, Tuesday night that we went.
It was a Tuesday, yes. So we did 139 per person. It was absolutely worth it. Even to do one of the more expensive ones, I think I would have still said it was worth it. I really enjoyed it. I'm not a Halloween girly. It's not my jam. But I love the way Disney does Halloween. It makes it so fun. It has those spooky, fun vibes without any fear. You don't have that fear that something's going to jump out or, oh my gosh, this is going to haunt my nightmares. There's none of that. You just get to go have a good time. You leave with a smile on your face and a bag full of candy. Like, what else could you want? Rod, what would you think?
I agree 1,000%. The way Disney does Halloween is the best way to do it, in my opinion. The older I get, the more I don't want to be scared. And I admit, I worked the Halloween haunt at Knott's Berry Farm as a maze monster and jumped out and scared people. It's not my jam anymore, like you said. Not my jam. Not even my jelly.
What about your preserves?
It's definitely not my preserves.
No.
And to preserve myself, I rather would do a event like this at Disney or at like Silver Dollar City or Dollywood even, where it's more of just a pumpkin fest.
Yeah.
And I cannot stress enough how much fun this was. Highly recommend it. Even if you're an introvert like Sue and I are, go Disney bounding at least. Do something to get in the spirit of the Fall Festival, I guess is the best way to put it. I just loved it. Before we go, we'd like to give a big thank you to our theme music composer, Jason Patrick Rowan, whose music is licensed through Pond 5. And of course, thank you, Phoenicians.
Thank you, Phoenicians. And don't forget to rate, review, like, share, and subscribe. It really does help other people find us. You can find us on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts.
The Epcotian Adventure is a $1,000 brunch production and a proud gold member of D23. Thanks for joining us today for episode 128 of the Epcotian Adventure. I'm Rod.
And I'm Sue.
And we'll see you in line at Villains Grove.
Bye.
Thank the Phoenicians.
So you can pick up, like Sue said, your wristbands inside, where you'll do that for the main part of the...
Start again. You will not like that.
That's not good. That came out of Oogie Boogie.